What's the good word, y'all? DKB here. So excited. It was a thriller to the very end with the New York Jets as we finally get a win over the Buffalo Bills. A crucial win and one that couldn't have been won in any other dramatic fashion than what you can expect from the New York Jets. But, recapping the halftime recap, right? This is a game that had my emotions all over the place. So the first half, only 4 snaps into his career with the Jets, officially in a game that actually means something. We see Aaron Rodgers goes down. I see a lot of theories that he tore his ACL. I don't think it could be anything further from the truth. I'm not a doctor. Freak stuff can happen, but you see his foot kind of twist and bend up a little bit, and I think bend is probably the better word than twist. So I'm thinking you are looking at a sprain, maybe something crazy like, I don't know, I don't want to say plantar fasciitis, but maybe something where, he hyperextended something in his foot, right? So I would expect maybe 2 months or something if it's more so on the serious end that he'll be out. But I'm going to put that to the back of my brain. I know at least a couple of games is probably what we're looking at. We'll see what ultimately comes out, but going beyond that, we had big days from a lot of people in all 3 phases. So you take a look at Breece Hall. He ended up finishing with, let me see here. So he goes for 10 carries, 127 yards. He did a lot of his damage in just 2 attempts. He had something like two rushes for 106 yards, I think, prior to halftime, even wrapping up. Which was absolutely amazing. I mean, literally, he changed the entire complexity of this game for the New York Jets. You think about when Jordan Whitehead picked off that overthrown pass from Josh Allen that put us down at the 4, and he immediately rips off the huge gain, which, if we were seeing the Breece Hall from last year, you're definitely looking at a guy that's taking that to the house. But still, to see that he can still go out there and flip the entire field instantly was a thing of beauty from him. We seen Dalvin Cook. Solid but unspectacular was what I was thinking in the first half. Overall, maybe a little bit more of a disappointment, but considering he's only really had about 2 weeks with the Jets, trying to figure out the offense, trying to get adjusted to this offensive line. Obviously, the difference between Aaron Rodgers and Zach Wilson was pretty pronounced because we started immediately seeing stacked boxes and, the Buffalo Bills going back to the game plan from 2022 where they wanted to force Zach Wilson to win the game for him. And by the way, it was luck, but he got the job done. So the biggest break from Zach Wilson, obviously we had the dumb interception in between like 2 or 3 guys that was just destined to be picked. Best case scenario, he overthrew it and we got a dead ball. But he comes back, he leads his team down the field, and we see him kind of try to embrace Aaron Rodgers via preseason form. And we see that fade route go to Garrett Wilson. That catch was absolutely ridiculous. I don't think I've ever seen anybody be able to tip a ball away that could have potentially been intercepted, snatch it, and stay in bounds while still being fought to the ground by Tre'Davious White. It was an absolutely stunner of a play from Garrett Wilson, and this just shows the caliber of guy we're getting. Now, I am concerned with him. He finishes his night as our leading catcher, 5 catches, 34 yards, the touchdown that we're breaking down now. But obviously, I talked about in the halftime where coaching scared, right? Most of the plays, and this was highlighted in like the third quarter by one of the broadcasters, most of the plays, even with Zach Wilson, didn't really go beyond the line of scrimmage. You've seen screen plays, whether it was, trick plays to the wide receiver or to the running backs, and there wasn't much else. You had, the I think 12-yard catch to Allen Lazard. You had the one that he broke free a little bit and was able to kind of get a little bit of buildup of his speed. But that was still mostly Allen Lazard getting run after the catch, points. Other than that, though, I am concerned about what the game plan for Zach Wilson is going to be, expecting that he's going to have to be in there for a couple of games, and we're turning the keys over to him earlier than expected. I wouldn't imagine we see any crazy quarterback plans come into play, considering whatever ends up happening with Aaron Rodgers. But You can see from the game plan, I mean, we mostly ended up having to target our running backs due to Zach Wilson and the inability to really push the ball down the field. But it was great to see that we were still able to lean into our run game, and we came away very happy with what those results looked like. On the defensive side, I thought this was going to be a coming out party for a guy like Tony Adams, because you knew Josh Allen was going to want to take his deep shots. And the guy that ended up coming away was Jordan Whitehead. 3 picks. I seen a stat that flashed that we haven't had 3 picks in a game since like 2009 with Ty Law. Jordan Whitehead's never had 3 picks even in a season, so this was he literally probably saved the day for the New York Jets defense. As ferocious as our pass rush was, as great as we were with stopping yards after the catch, Jordan Whitehead giving us as many opportunities to go out there and try to walk down the field was absolutely key, and I couldn't be happier for him. This was definitely the kind of game that not only he needed for a confidence boost, but is literally the only reason we were able to stay in this game, even though Josh Allen was able to have a decent amount of success against our unit. When you talk about DJ Reed and Sauce Gardner uncharacteristically giving up maybe more passes than we've seen at any point last year. That's just the talent of Josh Allen extending plays and Stephon Diggs being an elite wide receiver. So not really too concerned about it. We see JJ get a sack. We've seen Quentin Jefferson pick up 2. We've seen JFM getting there. Al Woods with 1. I'm pretty sure that Quentin Williams had 1, but I'm not seeing it recorded there. But nonetheless, our defensive line absolutely swarmed. The closer we got after Zach Wilson got that touchdown to tie us up, the closer we got to fourth quarter, and then unfortunately going into overtime, I thought that field goal that hit the uprights was going to pop out. But the closer we got into it, I got a lot more comfortable. I figured it's going to be a tie or the defense for the Buffalo Bills were going to have to win the game. I got more and more comfortable. This plays exactly into this New York Jets defense, where we're talking about fresh players upon fresh players still coming in and rotating. You've seen Josh Allen feeling the pressure. You've seen the offensive line start to, jump off the line of scrimmage early, stalling plays, demotivating that side of the offense. And again, I came away extremely impressed. Tony Adams wasn't a liability. You've seen Quincy Williams flying around everywhere. CJ Mosley almost got his hands on a pick, showing that he's still able to go out there and read plays extremely well. We just need him to start hauling those in. Jamie and Sherwood coming in for a handful of plays and being able to go out there and make an impact right away. It feels good. It's a weight off of my shoulders considering what we expected. And then to cap everything off, obviously the huge overtime for us. This was almost poetic justice. The way that we lost to our division opponents last year, New England, the punt return touchdown, to wrap things up. And I want to say what was overtime. The Buffalo Bills being able to eke us out. We were able to see our first step in what Robert Saleh was preaching from last year in finish, and it just feels good. This is the second time that the Bills have lost to a Zach Wilson-led team, and so you really, if I'm Buffalo, I am starting to get concerned that a offense that is scared to push the ball anything further than 5 yards past the line of scrimmage is able to go out there and not only come back from a deficit but outlast you in overtime, and in a huge way, right? I can't think of anything else other than the Bills were gassed and they weren't expecting. They just seemed unprepared. I'm not quite sure why, but I can't be more excited. I will say, for what it's worth, with the special teams touchdown, that it was weird. I did see them announcing that there should have been a penalty for a block that I want to say Quincy Williams maybe was throwing. I'm not sure why. I think they were calling it like a block in the back. I'm not sure what all that was about, but happy to see us walk away with this dub. 22-16 Jets victory, our season debut, with everything happening from that first series, seeing Aaron Rodgers walk out to now shows that this is a different team that can get the job done. Now, there's going to be a tall ask for us next week. But for what it's worth, again, mentally, I feel much more confident about where we are at as a team and the talent that we've been able to assemble and our ability to try to get past this. Even for what it's worth mentioning, you've seen off to the sideline, we had, prior to the touchdown, Garrett Wilson and Zach Wilson chopping things up and trying to get on the same page about where he'd probably like to see him take his shots and, just having the confidence to get the ball to him and for him to make a play. So I'm super glad that they're connecting. Their relationship's going to be extremely important, especially for whenever, however many games Aaron Rodgers ends up missing. But Greg DeLeg, he was solid for us, spectacular, 3 of 3. Thomas Morstead flipping the field for us, trying to keep things at a distance for Buffalo. I don't know what else to say, guys. This was exactly what we need. Paint the city green. There's not much sweeter in the world than a New York Jets victory, especially in the limelight and especially in the fashion that we got it done. So let me know what your guys' favorite moments were. What are your hot takes coming out of this game? I'll catch you guys again. Peace.